Hey guys, welcome to South PyTech. Today we are going to learn and perform the programming exercise and basic calculation. In this video, we will be learning about the basic Python word problem, which is the best for beginners learning. And these word problems contain exercises which contain mathematical concept in programming and how to display the data by taking the input from the user. So basically, this session and these exercises are based on our previous chapters, the input processing and output, and normally we take the input from the keyboards and from the user. So totally we have 14 questions in this topic in this session, and these questions are based on personal information, the sales prediction. We are converting, from one unit to another units, that it's pounds into kilogram, the total purchase, the distance traveled, the payment installments, miles per gallon, the tip tax and total, circle measurement, ingredient adjuster, male and female percentages, male and stock transactions, program, planting grapevines, and the last one is the compound interest. So let's begin with our first question, that is personal information. So this is very simple and basic. Well, you can see we have an assigner variable with the name over here, and we have to input the name by taking the input from the user. So I have given this string format into single quotation. You can either enter this into double quotation. Both ways are fine for Python. And over here you can assign a variable to complete the residential address. So over here I have written my home address because I'm based in Karachi, Pakistan. So I have written my house number and society over here. Assigning a variable to the cell number. So this is a W cell number. It is not mine. So you can also enter this number into a string format in single quotation. So you can see the name, address, and cell number. These are variable, and we have assigned this with assignment operator, that is equals to into string format. Similarly, you have to assign a variable, a major, with the value of engineering. What education do you have? What you hold a major in education? So I have entered at engineering. So now the final thing is to print those variables that you have given input, that is the name, the address, and the cell number. These are the variables, you can see, without inverted commas or quotation marks, and these are the string. So let's run and check what happened and what does it print. Okay, so you can see the your name that you have given over there, the name Sayyid Saad Ali. It got printed over here. My name is Sayyid Saad Ali. The address, the cell number, and the major, that is your education, the degree you hold basically. So you see, these are very basic concept before starting your Python thing, and you have assigned a variable that we have basically learned previously in our topic one. Okay, so let's move forward to sales prediction. That is question number 2. A company has determined that its annual profit is typically 23% of the total sales. Write a program that asks the user to enter the projected amount of total sale, then display the profit that will be made from the amount. Okay, so over here we have to enter the sales amount and the profit. We have to calculate the profit based on the commission. They have given us the percentage, that is 23%. So in the Python we have to enter it as a 0.23 because we are not using any percentage sign over here. So the 23% in decimal form, or in the binary form, you have to enter the 0.23, that is a fraction part. Okay, so over here you have assigned a sales and you are taking input from the user, and you can see over here you are entering the amount in float, that is with the decimal. Float represent the decimal amount, and when we say int integer, so we have to write a whole number. So over here we can enter the both, either the decimal or the whole value. Over here you are assigning the value profit, so you have assigned a profit variable and you are calculating the sales that you have entered over here by multiplying by the percentage, and over here you will get the profit amount. So we will see when we run it, it will display the profit amount. Over here, the total sales describe the sale amount that we have input over there, and the profit that has been calculated by mathematical operation multiplying the sale amount, and it will delay the amount of total sale is this, like adding the total sale and the profit amount. So let's run and check. Okay, enter the amount like $1,000 or 1,000 rupees, and you can see when it get multiplied by the percentage 0.23, it gives us amount of 123.0. So the amount that we enter was the 1,000, and the profit based on commission that we usually receive, that is 230. And when we add these 1,000 and 230 units or the dollars or the rupees, we obtain 1,230 rupees or dollars. So it was also simple. Now we are converting the pounds into kilogram. 1 pound is equivalent to 0.454 kilograms. Okay, write a program that asks the user to enter the mass of an object in pounds and then calculates and display the mass of the object in the kilograms. Okay, perfect. Over here we can assume that we are purchasing the cake in pounds, so we have to enter the mass pounds float, enter the mass of the object. So object is our cake, let's assume, and similarly we have assigned kg per pound, that is the fraction part 0.454 over here, and similarly this is same as above. Now we will convert the mass pound that we have entered over there above over here, and it will multiply this by this fraction part, and it will give us the mass in kgs. So the pound will be converted into kilogram. So let's enter. If the cake was like let's say 10 pounds, so what will be the weight in kgs? So it will weigh in kgs like 4.54 kg. So you see when we enter the 10, that was the pound, it was a unit bigger than the kg. And when we get the mathematical operation, we have a fraction part, a conversion unit basically to convert into pounds. So the mass was converted into kg by multiplying 0.454 over here. So we obtain the conversion from here by giving the input mass per pound and kg as a fraction part. So it was also quite simple like above that we have done over here, the sales prediction. Okay, total purchase. A customer in a store is purchasing 5 items. Okay, write a program that asks for the price of each item. Okay, then display the subtotal of the sale, the amount of the sales tax, and the total. Assume the sales tax is 7%. Okay, so we have to calculate the total sales tax on the total purchase, and we have to enter the amount of the 5 items. You can see the program is taking the 5 item prices from the user, then it will do the subtotal. You can see all the items are getting sum up over here, then the subtotal is getting multiplied by the 7% rate over here. So 7% is written 0.07 as a fraction over here, and now the fraction part, that is tax, that we have obtained over here, we will add the subtotal into a tax, and now we will get the included amount like total GST by adding the subtotal amount, the basically the items of the amount and the tax, so it will be a gross amount. So over here we will run this program. We will enter the price of the product like 50, 100 and $120, or let's say 70 or 150. So the total price was $490. The tax that applicable on these item multiplying by 0.07, that is basically a 7%. All right, so the tax amount was 34.30, and the total gross amount including tax that we obtain over here, that is $524.30. So this program was also simple, and it contains 3 mathematical operation. It is summing up all the price, multiplying the tax, the subtotal, and obtaining the tax, and we are now getting the total amount including the tax amount. So over here we are printing the 3 result. So over here you can see the format function is used, and it basically display like you have to view the fraction part in two decimal places. So we have written 2. If we enter 3 or 4 over here, so you can see the subtotal amount will be displayed as a 4 decimal place if I enter once again. So the amount you can see over here, it displayed in 4 decimal place. So this is the format rules. You can display the number over here, right? Okay, let's move forward. The distance travel, question number 5. The distance travel, assume there are no accident or delays. The distance that a car travel down the interstate can be calculated with following formula. Distance is speed plus time. So we can see by the first statement, the car is running at a constant speed of 70 miles per hour with no interstate or delays or accident in the interstate city, right? So write a program that display the following. The car is traveling at 70 miles per hour. Okay, so we have to calculate distance. The speed is constant, but the thing that varies, that is time. So we can see 6, 10, 15. We have to calculate the total distance covered at 6 hours and total distance covered at 10 hours, and similarly for 15 hours. So over here we have assigned the speed by 70 times 6 time 1 6 hours, time 2 10 hours, time 3 15 hours, as mentioned in the problem. Over here now we have to multiply the distance, the given formula, speed into time. So we can see distance, speed into time 2, and speed on time 3. So we have already assigned the time 1, time 2, and time 3. And now we are simply printing the distance travel at each time. So we will just simply run and check what will be the distance covered at these particular 3 times. So in 6 hours we have covered 420 miles, because 6 multiplied by 70 we obtain 420. When 10 hours multiplied by distance travel, that is 70, it gives us 700. And when 15 got multiplied by the 70, it gave us 1050 miles. So we have covered 420 miles in 6 hours, 700 miles in 10 hours, and 150 miles in 15 hours at constant speed of 70 miles per hour. So this was a simple exercise in question number 5. Let's move to the question number 6, payment installments. Write a program that asks the user to enter the amount of a purchase and the desired number of payment installments. The program should add 5% to the amount to get the total purchase amount, and then divide it by desired number of installment, then display message telling the user the total amount of the purchase and how much each installment will cost. Okay, so we are taking basically the amount that we have to purchase the loan over here, and we have to write like how many installment in how many months, or the number of the installments that we wish to pay. And over here we are calculating the total purchase, like the purchase amount is getting is getting accumulated by 1.05 percentage, that is the 5% over here already mentioned in the question. And calculating amount per installment, so the total purchase will be divided by the installment, so it will give the total purchase amount over here and each amount over here. So each installment and total purchase amount will be get printed over here. So let's run and check. It is also a simple program. Enter the amount of purchase, let's say $5,000 or 5,000 rupees, and we wish to pay these in 15th monthly installment or annual installment, whatever. And you can see the each installment will be of $350 or 350 rupees, and the total amount of the purchase will be 5250. So when we enter the amount, initially it get multiplied by a 1.05 factor, that is the fifth percentage of the 5% to the amount that we already purchased. And when this amount got multiplied, so we have divided the total purchase into the number of installment that we have entered over there, that is basically 15. We have to pay this amount in 15 quarterly installment, monthly or annual installment, whatever. And in the end you can see the amount of total purchase that cost us, that is 5250. And when this amount was divided by the installment, that is 15, it gives us like 350 rupees or $350 over here. So it was also a quite simple program, and we are having multiplication and division rule over here. So miles per gallon, question number 7, a car miles per gallon MPG can be calculated with the formula MPG miles driven divided by gallon of gas used. Write a program that asks the user for the number of miles driven and the gallon of the gas used. It should calculate the car MPG and display the result. Okay, so over here we are taking the two input, that is miles driven, the total miles given by the driven by the car, and the gas use. So we have to write the total number of gallons that is consumed by the car at the total level that it was already driven by the total number of miles. Now calculate the MPG miles per gallon by the formula like miles driven and gas use. So we will just divide the total miles by the total gas consumed at the total, like the car was driven in the total miles. It will give the miles per gallon, like at what gallon quantity we can drive the car. So it will give the miles average, the car average at single gas use or the single gallon of the gas. So okay, so we will run this program and see if we have driven like 100 miles and the number of gallon used, like if we say 25, right? So it will say like the average on each gallon, the it was basically 4 gallons that basically use at each mile. So each mile was driven at number miles per gallon, like 4 gallons was consumed in total miles on a four number of 4 gallons. So it was also a simple example. We can see over here that we have to calculate the MPG and the results. So it was also a quite simple program that we have calculated the MPG miles over here on a single gallon. Okay, now next move to the question number 8, the tip, tax, and total. Write a program that calculates the total amount of a meal purchased at a restaurant. The program should ask the user to enter the charge for the food, then calculates the amount of 18% tip and 7% sales tax. Display each of this amount and the total. Over here we can see price of a meal. We will enter the total amount, that bill cost that we have consumed in a restaurant, the meal. So the price of the meal, that is float, we will enter in a float, and we will giving the 18% tip and 17% sales tax. So we will calculate the tip by multiplying the price of the meal, that is 18%. We can see in the fraction part 0.18. We can calculate the tax price by multiplying the price meal at 0.07. Over here we have seen the 7% sales tax. Now we will add these price meal over here, the price meal, the total cost that we have entered over here, the tip amount, and the tax amount. So three amount will be added to the price meal, tip, and tax over here. So and now in the end we will display the tip amount over here by displaying the tip. We will print the tax amount over here by giving the tax variable, and we will print the total amount by giving the total amount variable over here, and we will display in 2 decimal place, and we can see the format rule over here. So let's run this program and enter, like if we consume like total meal that costs $1,500. So the tip amount that was $270, and the tax amount was the $105. And when we add the 270 and $105 to the 1,500, so total cost $1,875 by adding tip, tax amount into the price meal. So this is basically the total amount over here. So we are also doing a 2 mathematical operation over here, the multiplication and the summation over here by adding price meal and tip tax. So let's move to the question number 9, circle measurement. Write a program that asks the user to enter the radius of the circle. The program should calculate and display the area and circumference of the circle using the pi r square for the area and 2 pi r for the circumference. Hint, you can either use 3.14159 as the value of pi, or add the statement import math to the start of the program, and then use math pi whenever you need the value of pi in the program. Okay, so there are two ways you can either enter the 3.14159, that is more easy. Either if we have to use the scientific computing, or we have to move into trigonometry ratios, so there is a pre-assigned library that it import a library with name math, and we can import it by assigning import math. So we are not using import math function over here. We are just assigning the pi value where you can see 3.14159, and we will enter the radius of the circle over here, and it will give the area by multiplying the pi value that we have assigned over here and the radius that we have given the input over here, and it will do the the power raised to the power. So the double asterisk means raised to power. We can see in Excel we use the cap function over here, but in Python we will be using the double asterisk over here. It means that raised to power 2. Pi getting multiplied by radius, that is raised to power 2. And similarly, we will calculate the circumference by multiplying by pi value into 2, and it will get multiplied by the radius. So we will get the area over here and the circumference over here. So let's run and check. We will just have to enter the radius. Let's say the value of the radius is 15 units. And over here, we will get the area of the circle is 706.85775. The circumference of the circle is 94.247 over here. So over here we can see we obtain simple circle measurement value by giving the radius value and the pi value already defined, and the area of the circle is 708577 units, and the circumference is 942.47 over here. Okay, so let's move to the next question, that is question number 10, ingredient adjuster. A cookie recipe calls for the following ingredients: 1.5 cup of sugar, 1 cup of butter, 2.75 cups of flour. The recipe produced 48 cookies. Okay, so the above recipe that have already mentioned is basically based on the ingredients that we are producing. That total amount is 48 cookies. We don't know what is the value of ingredients at the one cookie over here. With this amount of the ingredients, write a program that asks the user how many cookies he or she wants to make, then display the number of cups of each ingredient needed for the specified number of cookies. So over here, first we have to define like how many cookies we want to make over here. So we will give the input in the first step, and as we know, these are the ingredients of the 48 cookies. So we will divide 48, because these ingredients for the 48 cookies total. We have to obtain the ingredient of a single cookie for one cookie. So over here you can see calculate the number of cups each ingredient for the one cookie. So when we will obtain the ingredients for the one cookie, then we can able to multiply the sugar 48 variable, because this is an ingredient for one cookie sugar, and the butter is for the one cookie ingredient, and the flour is for the one cookie. So then we can multiply these variables or these items with the total number that we actually want, right? So over here we can see the ingredients are getting multiplied by the variables that we have given the input with the variable x, and over here we can display the total number of ingredients of our desired number of cookies. So let's run and check, like if we want 80 cookies, so we want 2.5 cups of sugar, and we want 1.67 cups of butter. And similarly, we have to obtain, we required 4.58 cups for the flour. So these are the ingredients for the 80 cookies, and over here these were the ingredients for the 48 cookies. So we can see how beautiful we have given and assigned the sugar ingredients by dividing the total number of 48 cookies, and we have obtained each cookie ingredients over here, and then we have multiplied by the total number of variables that we have assigned x in variable x. So this is how we can solve this problem over here. Now move to the next example, that is question number 11, male and female percentage. Write a program that asks the user for the number of males and number of females registered in class. The program should display the percentage of males and females in the class. Hint, suppose there are 8 males and 12 females in a class. There are 20 students in the class. The percentage of the males can be calculated as 8 divided by 12 or 0.440%. The percentage of female can be calculated as 12 divided by 20, 0.6 or 60%. So we can see here they have given us the solution that how we have to obtain the percentages if no one knows how to calculate the percentage by dividing the total number of strength and the number of the male and female candidate in the class. So over here we are taking the males and females over here, and we will give the total because we have to divide these total by the total number of male and females over here, and we can see we are getting multiplied by 100 by to obtain the percentage of male and female. So over here when we run this program, okay, so we will enter total number 8 of okay, so females were basically 12 and males were 8, so the total we will obtain that is 20, and we will see the percentage of females in the class is 60% because when 12 divided by the 20 we obtain 0.6 and it get multiplied by 100 we obtain 60, and similarly it goes for males. So it was quite simple program as they have already provided the hint over there. Okay, 12 days stock transaction program. Over here we can see they have given the amount of total purchase of Joe. Basically there is a person named Joe and he has purchased some stock last month in Acme software, and the details are given below. The numbers of the share that Joe purchased were 2000 and the amount of each share he paid was $40, and also he is giving the commission to the stockbroker that is 3%. I believe that is really a big percentage that he is giving to the stockbroker, that is 3%. After two weeks later when stock price moved up, you can see the stock he purchased at $40, and when he was selling these total stock of the total number of share that were 2000, now he's selling the stock at $42.75 per share, so the amount is increased by 2.75 in 2 weeks. Okay, so he paid his stockbroker another commission that amount to the 3% of the amount he received for the stock. So again, he has paid the commission to the stockbroker amount to the 3% over here. So write a program that displayed the following information: the amount of money Joe paid for the stock, okay, and the commission he has bought the stock, and the amount that the Joe sold, and the commission he paid to the stockholder. And after that we have to display the amount of the Joe that he left when he sold the stock and paid his broker both times. If this amount is positive, then the Joe made a profit. If the amount is negative, then Joe lost the money. Okay, so I believe that the commission percentage is too high, and I believe there will be a loss over here. So the amount percentage is basically 3 over here. We will enter the 3 percentage. We can see we are dividing by 3, or we will enter 0.03. That is the same thing. So the paid dollar amount, that is 2000 multiplied by 42, and the commission paid on this amount that is paid for. And over here he sold 2000 by 42.75, and he also paid the commission at sold for amount that is 3%. Now we will add the total commission amount over here, commission 1 and commission 2. And now we will subtract the sold for amount, because sold for amount was big amount because he said at 42.75, and the paid for the purchase amount was less because he purchased as $42. And after that the profit he obtained, basically now we will subtract the total commission because this amount is debit from the Joe account as well. And now we will see whether he gain or he was in loss. So now we will see the amount in positive or negative. So we can see there is a loss of $3,585. That is a negative amount, and this is not the profit. This is basically a loss. So the amount of money paid for the stock, that is 84,000. Okay, and the stock he sell is basically at 85,500. So we can see there is a profit of $1,500, but the commission was too high. So on the first, he paid the commission like $2,052 to the broker, like over 3%, and over here he paid the commission on the same amount, that is $2,000 565. So basically the broker was in profit, but the main investor was in loss, and he lose $3,585 into this dealing or a stock purchase. Okay, planting the grapevines. A vineyard owner is planting several new rows of grapevines, and need to know how many grapevines to plant in each row. She has determined that after measuring the length of a future row, she can use the following formula to calculate the number of vines that will fit in the row, along with the trellis and post assembly that will need to be constructed at each end of the row. Okay, so they have given the formula of planting the grapevines by R minus 2E divided by S. So the terms that elaborates and state that V is the number of grapevines that will fit in the row, R is the length of the row in feet, and E is the amount of space in feet used by end to end post assembly, and S is the space between the vines in feet. Write a program that makes the calculation for vineyard owner. The program should ask the user to input the following: the length of the row in feet, the amount of space used by end post assembly in feet, and the amount of the space between the vines in feet. So there are three required conditions in this program. Once the input data has been entered, the program should calculate and display the number of grapevines that will fit in the row. Okay, perfect. So the length of the row, enter the length of the row in feet, that is R. So the R is the length of the row in the feet. Okay, so let's run this program and see. uh, okay, so we will enter like 90 the length row or in feet of the grapevines, and now he asking space for assembly. Enter the amount of space used by the end post assembly. So okay, so we will enter like 15 over here. Enter the amount space between the vines in feet. So we can write 0.5, like half of it there is a space, and we can see the number of grapevine length row, that is the same formula. We can see the R minus 2 multiplied by for assembly, that is 2 is getting multiplied by E space between the end per assembly, and this bracket is completely divided by the space between the vine, that is the S over here. Now we will obtain the number of grapevines over here, and we will print the total number of grapevines that will fit in the row. So when I press enter, we can see the total number of grapevines will fit in the row is the 120. So we can fit 120 grapevines in each row, having the length row in feet like 90 feet, and the space used by input assembly is 15 feet, right? And the enter the amount of space between the vines in feet, that is 0.5, and so the total number that we obtain, that is total 120. Okay, so let's move to the next question, that is compound interest, and it's very interesting for the people who are in insurance side or the finance side or the financial management, or even who are forecasting, the investment that they have invested, or they have taken some policy at compound interest rate. So over here, here is a bank. When a bank account pays compound interest, it pays interest not only onto the principal amount that was deposited into the account, but also on interest that has accumulated over time. Suppose you want to deposit some money into a saving account and let the account earn compound interest for a certain number of years. The formula for calculating the balance of the account after a specified number of years is A, and B is getting multiplied by 1 plus R divided by N into NT. Okay, so this is a simple, the formula of present value accumulating at a compound interest rate with the number of times per year at interest compounded and the specified number of years. So the terms used in the formula: A is the amount of the money in account after the specified number of years, that is the accumulated amount. P is the principal amount that was originally deposited into the account, and R is the annual interest rate. N is the number of times per year that the interest is compounded. T is the specified number of years. Write a program that makes the calculation for you. The program should ask the user to input the following. Okay, so we have already mentioned that we have to enter these four items, that is original deposit amount, annual rate, compound year, and years left. So once the input data has been entered, the program should calculate and display the amount of the money that will be in the account after a specified number of years. Okay, and here he have given the number of times per year the interest is compounded. For example, if the compounded monthly, so we have to enter the 12, or if the interest is compounded quarterly, so we have to enter the 4. So let's say we are doing on monthly basis, so we have to enter the number of times per year, that is n over here. Basically the compounded per, we will enter the 12. So let's run this program and check. Original amount was, that's it, $1,000 over here. The enter the original deposit annual rate. Okay, so annual rate, let's say 0.12, the 12%. Enter the times compounded per year, so we are giving like it was on monthly basis, so I am entering 12. And enter the years account will left in money, so let's say we are doing for the 10 years. So we can see after the 10 years we will be having the total amount in our account that will be left, and the accumulated amount, it will be $3,300.39. So this was the example of the insurance when we have entered the $1,000 compounded by monthly on 12% rate, that is too high, and it will be accumulating after the 10 years, that is $3,300.39 over here. So this was the last question of our session, and then I believe this went a very productive and fruitful for the people who are beginner and they want to use how to perform calculation, the formatting, how we have to give the input, and how we have to solve this simple word problem, whether they are sales and percentages, the calculation, the insurance, the commission rate, the conversion factor, the restaurant tip, tax and total, the miles per gallon, the payment installment, and all the physics formula, the distance of and total purchase. So this was very nice exercise for the beginners who can start from very scratch. And I hope you guys has gain a lot of knowledge today in this programming exercise. I will request you all to kindly like my video, kindly do share, and do give your feedback in the comment section. I will also upload this Jupyter notebook in the Google Drive section. I will provide the link below in the comment section. You can download this exercise and integrate it with your Python notebook or PyCharm, whatever what you are using, or Anaconda. So kindly do like and give your feedback and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much, guys, and let's meet into the next video with new topics, with new exercises, and new session in Python. Have a good day. Bye bye.